My name is Mark. I've been a long-haul bus driver for over a decade, mostly running routes across Texas and New Mexico. I've driven through rainstorms, sandstorms, even once during a freak blizzard outside Amarillo. I've dealt with drunk passengers, engine failures in the middle of nowhere, and the occasional roadside accident. But none of that compares to what happened on a quiet October night 3 years ago. Something that still keeps me up when I'm driving alone in the dark. It was a Saturday night around 9 p.m., and I was prepping the bus for our overnight route from Dallas to Albuquerque. My co-driver that night was Ronnie, a guy I'd worked with for over 5 years. Solid guy, ex-Navy, didn't spook easy. We were driving a standard Greyhound-style coach, 40 seats, onboard cameras, radio link, and a digital manifest of every ticketed passenger. I remember the weather was calm, but oddly chilly for October in Texas. That kind of dry cold that creeps into your bones even with a jacket on. At the terminal, we had 32 passengers on the list. Ronnie double-checked as people boarded, scanning each ticket, greeting them, and pointing them to their seats. After everyone was settled, we pulled out of Dallas around 9:15 p.m. The roads were quiet, just the steady hum of the engine and the soft glow of the dashboard. Ronnie joked about how empty the highway was, and I remember saying something like, "Yeah, maybe it'll be an easy night for once." Famous last words. Around 11:30 p.m., just past Abilene, Ronnie walked up to the front of the bus with this weird look on his face. "Hey, Mark," he said, "do you remember how many passengers we were supposed to have tonight?" 32, I said. "Why?" He held up the printed manifest. "I counted 33. I chuckled, thinking maybe he just miscounted or someone was moving around the bus. Probably someone stretched out across 2 seats. "No," he said, lowering his voice. "I counted 3 times. There's a woman sitting in the back row, last seat by the window. Hood up. She didn't get off at the rest stop earlier. I don't remember her boarding either." We decided to pull over at a 24-hour gas station just outside Sweetwater. A few passengers stepped out to grab snacks or use the bathroom. Ronnie and I stayed inside, checking seat by seat. Everyone matched the manifest, except for her. She was still there. Back row, hoodie up, head tilted down like she was asleep or avoiding eye contact. Ronnie walked halfway down the aisle and said, "Ma'am, are you okay?" No response. She didn't move, didn't flinch, just sat there, completely still. Ronnie hesitated. "She gives me the creeps," he whispered. "Something's not right." Back at the front of the bus, Ronnie pulled up the onboard security footage. Each aisle seat had a small camera feed, and one wide-angle cam showed the back rows. He rewound the footage too before we left Dallas. Every passenger showed up on camera, except her. Seat 33, the back row, was empty the entire time. Even when she was supposedly sitting there, the footage just showed a vacant seat, not even a glitch or blur, just nothing. "Maybe the camera's busted," I offered weakly, but neither of us really believed it. We kept driving, but the mood shifted. The lights felt dimmer, the air colder. I glanced at the rearview mirror every few minutes, expecting to see her standing in the aisle. But I never did. She stayed in that back seat, still, silent. Around 2 a.m., while passing through a long stretch of desert near the New Mexico border, the bus completely died. No warning. The dashboard lights blinked once, Then everything went black. Engine off, radio off. The interior lights flickered, then went dark too. We rolled to a stop on the side of the highway. No other cars in sight, no cell signal, just desert silence. Then came the breathing. It crackled through the CB radio speaker. At first I thought it was just static, but it grew louder. Heavy, wet breathing. Then a faint whisper.
I never got off. The last time.
I stared at the radio, frozen. Ronnie backed away from the dash like he'd just touched a live wire. Tell me that was interference, he said. I couldn't answer. Just then, a teenage girl from a few rows back screamed, "Someone's standing in the aisle!" I turned fast, heart pounding. But there was no one. Just dark, empty seats stretching to the back. I looked forward again and slammed my foot on the brake even though we were already stopped. There was a woman standing in the middle of the road. She had her back to us wearing a dark hoodie, long black hair hanging down. She wasn't moving, just standing, like she was waiting for us to come closer. But when I blinked, she was gone. The bus jolted as the power suddenly returned. Engine humming, lights flickering back on. Without saying a word, I put it in drive and we moved on. The rest of the ride was dead quiet. No one spoke, no one slept. I think we all felt it, that presence lingering just out of sight. We arrived at the Albuquerque terminal a little after 4 a.m. As passengers got off, Ronnie and I counted again. 32, exactly the number on the manifest. But seat 33, the one in the back row, still looked used. The cushion slightly indented, as if someone had been sitting there the entire time. Security staff reviewed the camera footage for us. The same thing happened. The seat was always empty. But starting around midnight, a strange fog or static distortion appeared around that spot. It stayed there for hours, unmoving. We filed a report, but no one could explain it. Eventually, the higher-ups chalked it up to camera malfunction and told us to move on. But Ronnie didn't. A few days later, he found an old local news article from 3 years earlier. Young woman missing after night bus trip from Dallas to Albuquerque. Security footage confirms she boarded, but never disembarked. Authority baffled. There was even a photo. She was wearing a hoodie. Her seat number? 33. Since that night, neither of us allows anyone to sit in that seat. We've had dispatch quietly remove it from the seating chart for every night route. Some passengers notice and ask why that seat's always unavailable. We just say it's broken. But every so often, a passenger will come to the front looking uneasy and say something like, "Hey, I think someone's sitting behind me, but when I turn around, no one's there." I just nod and keep driving. Because I know she's still riding. What really happened? Some believe Emily was suffering from depression, possibly overwhelmed by distance and isolation. They think she took her own life quietly on that bus, unnoticed, slipping into some kind of spiritual limbo. Others think something followed her onto the bus, something not of this world, and claimed her on that lonely highway. Whatever the truth is, one thing is clear. Emily never got off that bus, and she's still looking for her stop.